I didn't do it, I swear.
All right, my bad. So you're saying we got to drop off?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Yeah. I don't feel like talking to you.
Yeah? All right. How's your day going so far?
Pretty good.
Took some animals.
I was driving in and I was like, I don't think this is the right parking lot because it was really small.
Yeah.
And I drove up this hill and it was like the back of the elephants and giraffes. I'm like, I'm actually behind the scenes now. And I couldn't figure out how to get turned around. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, totally not secure.
Totally not secure. All right, you all set? Okay, so here's the easiest thing. Just go ahead and say and spell your name for me, and that way I've got it on.
So, Daryl Schembeck, DARYL, SCHEMBECK.
And you're the executive chef?
I'm the executive chef at Morehead Foundry.
So this place is amazing. We've got one huge behind the house kitchen. Front of the house, we've got 3 different restaurants. Tell us about this. I've never heard of a concept like this.
So we're kind of a new idea to use one kitchen to produce the food for 3 separate concepts. We're trying to do it in a way that proves that it's sustainable, that you can share space and produce a lot of good food out of one spot with one set of staff. We have 4 Flocks and Lauder, and we have the show kitchen behind us, Revolution Burger, and then Baker and the Bean, and they have their own staff. And we produce all that food. It all comes in one spot. All the dishes get done in one spot. All the garbage goes out in one spot. So we're trying to prove that sustainability can work even in a restaurant environment.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at the four flocks. Yeah, four flocks. Tell us what the food is here. We're looking at poultry items. Kind of give us an idea of what people are going to find when they come here.
So the idea is that it's 4 flocks and larder, and it's based on the four different birds, basically quail, chicken, duck, and turkey. And the larder is like an old-fashioned word for like storage. So we wanted it to have that like rustic kind of old-fashioned feel to it, and it's Southern inspired. I'm from down by High Point, so I'm not that Southern, but I couldn't really pull it off that well. So we had to have like a different approach to the cuisine, and it's Southern inspired, Southern ingredients. Almost everything here we make here. The bread behind us, all that stuff. So it's all made as much as possible here. We cure all the meats here. I mean, it's pretty fascinating.
Well, so why the idea to do that kind of concept? Because that's somewhat unusual. I've never heard of sticking to just sort of those main 4 ingredients.
Availability. Availability of it here, anyway. So there's a lot of farms here that have chickens and ducks and wild turkey, and quail is pretty. Quail comes from a little bit further west, but here we can get a lot of the stuff in North Carolina, and that was and it's accessible. But it's not the only thing on the menu. We have steaks and short ribs, and we have fish and scallops on the menu also.
And then if you go to Revolution Burger, which is right next door, what's kind of the main idea behind that restaurant?
The main idea behind there is that it's all grass-fed and finished beef on rolls that are preservative-free. A lot of the stuff is done in-house. We make some of the toppings in-house. We make our own like special sauce in-house, and a lot of those things we wanted to do, again, to prove that it's sustainable to do in an environment like this. It was important to us that we make a lot of it, but it was also important to us that the burger be good. And like, you'll see that there's Heinz ketchup. You cannot have a burger and not have Heinz ketchup. We tried it. You're out of bounds. You know, like get back in. It's not right. So there is Heinz ketchup over there, but that's what people expect. And but a lot of the other toppings and stuff we make ourselves. So.
And so then you go right to the next place, and you've got the Baker and the Bean, or the
Baker and the Bean. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So that's a Southern bakery, all home-style desserts, cookies, cakes, layer cakes with buttercream icing and cream cheese icing, and macaroons and ice cream that's handmade. They're making ice cream right now, every day. It's awesome. Lori Loftus is the baker back there, and she's great.
And then I assume the coffee's pretty good too.
Coffee is good. It is from a local place. They source the beans, but we buy it from a local place. We have iced coffee, regular coffee, cappuccinos. I drink about 34 cups of coffee a day, so I get to taste it a lot. And we buy all the milk from Julian, North Carolina. We take it pretty serious. Wherever we can buy it, we buy it from here.
So what have people been saying when they come in to this restaurant in particular? I mean, I know tell me what they say when they just come to the Foundry in general. What do you hear?
The Foundry is a pretty impressive building from the outside, and when they walk into 4 flocks and larder, it's a little bit startling with the high ceilings and the kind of the industrial look, and it's a converted building, so it had to maintain some of its charm of the original place, and it's beautiful. I mean, this is a beautiful restaurant that could be anywhere in the world. It didn't just and it just happens to be here in Greensboro. This would be a beautiful restaurant anywhere. The music is on and the bar is full. I mean, people like it here.
Yeah, it's great.
They do.
It's great. Let's talk a little bit more about the food. So have you decided some of the food items that you're gonna be making for us?
We're going to make scallops for you.
Okay. Tell us about those.
So we have seared scallops. We have some pickled okra that we make here, heirloom tomatoes that we buy from Denton, and some white beans, some corn crispies that we put on top. It's pretty good with a sherry vinaigrette. We're also going to make the duck. So we brine our duck. We let it dry for 2 days so that we can sear it crispy. It goes with Brussels sprouts, fennel cream, and dried cherries. It's pretty good. Maybe we'll throw in some more stuff, but we decided on those two at least.
Okay. Well, what are some of your other favorites?
We have a beef fillet with chili and avocado cream with pineapple salsa. Not particularly Southern inspired, but definitely inspired by somebody who inspired me. So it was a way to show respect for a chef who I admired. So that was Patrick Clark back in New York. So that was important for me. And then we have all kinds of stuff back there. I mean, if you point to something, we'll make something.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
If you point at something, we'll make something. You'll see some of this stuff going on back there. It's pretty good. Revolution Burger is great. I mean, it's pretty cool.
It's what would you say would be one of the more unusual things on the menu, or something most people wouldn't find if they go to other restaurants? The quail, or
we have stuffed quail. You would see that on maybe some other menus. We serve it with roasted apples, chili puree, like a roasted green chili puree, and hickory foam. And we make that from hickory stock that we make ourselves, and we use it for a lot of different things. It's like a vegetarian stock that we use for a couple different things. Scallops, you would see scallops, but not like that. We make shrimp and grits, but we use heritage American breed corn that's non-GMO. It's very expensive for grits, but we think it's important, and like we think that those things are important, so we do it all the time.
Well, Lee will probably talk about this, but you talked a little bit about the sustainability factor, and why is that so important to? Because you've got to kind of get everybody to agree to that, you know. And it's one thing to run one restaurant and have that concept,
right,
but to do 3, it's not easy. But why? How do you get everybody on board with that, and why is it important?
It's important because it is the future that we're moving towards. It's important to know where your food comes from. It's important to know where it's been and what other people that are raising it doing to the animals and to the produce and to the different parts of it. So we want to live, and we want to live well, so we should get good stuff to put into us, you know. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. The demand by consumers to have this as part of it is also an appeal, but the first part of it is the food and the building. These were a church, the table, this was part of a church. So like it's been repurposed. So there are parts of the actual building that have been repurposed and done, but that was important in the design phase. Now we're in the operating phase, and we still need to maintain that integrity.
You're awesome, Gerald. You're doing a great job. What have I forgotten? I feel like I've forgotten something. It's been so easy, but I'm trying to think. I mean, I obviously have a lot more questions for Lee, but food-wise, was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Breads, desserts, we kind of touched on that.
Sure.
I mean, everything is really, I can see behind you the fresh bread. I mean, tell us about, just everything really seems to be something you've made. Hands have been on.
Yes. So at Four Fox, we really did try to make it so that everything was created here in-house. When we first opened up, we had onion rings on our menu with ketchup, and we made our own ketchup. And it was a matter of pride for the staff to make it, as well as a matter of we knew what was going into it, and we knew it wasn't just a jar of ketchup that we added something to and said it's ours. Like, they were really tomatoes, and they were really cooked. The barbecue sauce on the ribs right now starts off with that ketchup. Like, that ketchup is important to this place, and we need to keep making it. There's a case out front where all the ingredients that we're using tonight are in there. Like, you can actually see the raw ingredients. You can't buy them exactly, but you can see the beets are in there, or like in their natural state, and then we convert them into. Steve is the chef de cuisine, and he cures all the meat. So we make our own guanciale, which is the hog jowls, and it's here. The duck prosciutto, we make it here. We don't have temperature control to make salami, so we have to sauce that. But everything else, we make here. We buy butter, but we make it into all the different butters that we use. I mean, we do it.
Just like 2 more questions and we'll be. Now, are you still using that ketchup? Because you said next door that it's Heinz, but here you're still using.
Yes,
ketchup.
Four Fox. Okay. Four Fox, we make our own ketchup, and in Revolution Burger, it's Heinz.
Okay. I won't
Can you imagine a burger without that ketchup on?
That's
That's un-American.
You can't get too fancy. So how does this compare to, you're from New York, you were saying, because I couldn't tell. And
Yeah, I know, it's hard to shake that.
You're in the South, what do you expect? How does this compare to other restaurants you've worked in? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just your ability to sort of, it feels like a real creative place to be able to work.
This is a great restaurant for me personally. I feel like I've reached a certain part in my life where I've been able to edit myself to where it fits this type of Southern cuisine where it's not so many ingredients, it's just how you deal with the ingredients. And maybe when I was younger, I would have not had that ability, and maybe when I was younger, I would have not been able to stop. But now I know that I could stop and say, that's right, that's it, don't add anything to that, don't, you know. And just because it's available doesn't mean you should do it. You should not do it necessarily, but that's the reason I enjoy being here. And it's also, I was the executive chef of the United Nations. I worked there for about a little over 6 years. So I actually cooked for almost every head of state on the planet. The Pope, the couple presidents, never cooked for the Queen. She's still out there dangling for me, but she comes here, I'll cook for her. There was no specific thing in America that's in New York that said it was New York cuisine. That kind of bothered me a little bit because there are cuisines from around the world. If you go to Kenya, there's Kenyan cuisine. If you go to South America, there is Brazilian food. There's Brazilian food in like 5 different regions of Brazil. Japan, I mean, like you can find this ethnic food that is perfect and the people love it. But in New York, I couldn't find that other than like a hot dog and pizza and all these things that are actually immigrant derived. So in the South, there is a Southern cuisine, and you can say, ask 10 people what Southern food is, and you're going to get 10 things, maybe in different order, but somebody's going to say gravy and biscuits, and somebody's going to say collard greens, and someone's going to say fried chicken. You're going to find this. And it was important to me that after my experience at the UN, I work in a place where American cuisine was the focus of the actual restaurant. And that to me was very important as an American and as a man and as a person, you know. So that's what I can bring to being a chef here at Four Flocks and Lauder.
Were you not going to tell me that? Oh, and by the way, I was a chef at the UN.
I don't, I mean...
Give me a break.
Oh, and by the way, no big deal. I cook for the
You know,
heads of state. Who cares?
it was a big deal, but it's not it's who I was.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's nice to know stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, people... I know you don't want to sit there with your resume, but it's nice to be able to add that in the story, that you can come and have somebody that's done that. It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's all true. I mean, it's all that's all
I just
true.
made it up. Are you gonna go check?
Please don't look
Fact
at.
check.
Just if you look my name up, just spell it different. Okay?
Well, that was fantastic.
Thank
Is there
you.
anything else?
No,
No wonder you're so comfortable doing this.
I couldn't do it without the staff.
Yeah, I could tell you've got a great staff. They're working hard.
Yeah, I love those guys, and you know they're doing a lot of this stuff, and you know, without even being asked. Lee created this place.
Yeah.
Lee created this place. Whatever crazy idea she had, it's her vision, and it's important. It's important for Greensboro. We could provide a lot of jobs. It's important for people to come here because they could see that Greensboro could be a place too. I could have lived anywhere in the world. I chose to live in Greensboro. I chose to live in the South, and this could be a place that people want to come if they want to. And there is a place like this here, you know.
You just get better and better the longer I keep you on here.
Oh,
I'm just going to
thanks.
make you stay longer.
Sorry,
Carol,
I guess I
that was
shook
awesome.
off the nerves.
No, you did great.
Thank you.
What nerves? There was never any nerves. You're awesome, man.
thank you.
so much.
My pleasure.
You made me all worried, like this was going to be a hard interview.
Oh, no.
Soundbite, 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 soundbite. I don't know what I'm going to have to do.
really us in the kitchen. We're gonna cook the duck first. That's pan-seared duck breast.
And what came on it?
We're just gonna sear in this pan. We're starting it off in a little bit of duck fat. We're gonna let the rest of it render. We're only gonna cook it on the skin side. And then we're cooking the pan roasted duck breast with Brussels sprouts. Eat that? Dry. Marinate it and then let it dry, and then you'll get that golden color skin. And that can only happen if the skin is dry. When the duck comes out of resting, you put the Brussels sprouts in the pan in the same fat. You preserve the flavor, and then as soon as they start to get a little bit brown, they're pretty much done. You gotta just season with salt and pepper.
slide it right back straight forward. Go. One more, please. Great. Go. Okay, what is that?
Boneless pig's feet with sauerkraut, pear puree and radish, scallops, pan roasted duck,
Okay.
pan roasted duck with cherries, Brussels sprouts, and fennel.
Okay.
Seared pork belly with pickled radish and radish sprouts. Everybody that comes in tonight gets that. Seared scallops.
It's so pretty, I don't want to eat it.
Yes, sir. Now, start.
She puts the most effort towards our relationship, and she gets the most.
I love that.
Yeah, I love her too.
She's my favorite.
What's your name?
James.
Good, we recorded it. So
That is proof. Oh my gosh, you have the prettiest teeth. Wow.
Oh, thanks.
You're like so pretty. You're
Thanks.
perfectly white.
Usually people call them chiclets.
They're beautiful. You got, I want her teeth. All right.
say your eyes look good.
She calls them chiclets.
So
I'm like, okay, thank you.
That's a compliment. I would take that's a compliment. All right, so you're just going to look at me. We're going to ignore Bob.
Okay.
We're going to talk about your wonderful multiplex with your restaurants. It's going to be amazing.
And so you're going to cut things that
Yeah.
don't make sense.
No.
If I answer it wrong or stutter, you cut it,
You
right?
can, and you can do it over again as many times as you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not live. I say tape, but it's not tape anymore. It's digital stuff.
So you cut, yeah, okay.
Just cut it. We just cut it till you look perfect.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
when we get going here, like whatever you guys end up producing, this is running around Thanksgiving, is that
Yes.
right? The majority of it not on me, the better. Like,
Okay.
I actually never like to be filmed, and I love everything being about the chef and
Okay.
about the space.
Okay, but we have to do someone because it's your baby. It's your baby.
That's true. I get that. I
Yeah.
just, the more that's like, I don't care if it's my voice, but doesn't show me, the better.
Okay. All right. I got you. I'm with you. I understand.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go on camera anymore.
I hate going on camera, and I like the ambiguity of people thinking I'm a man
Really?
because my name is L-E-E.
Yeah, yeah.
It serves me better.
Isn't that sad?
It is sad. It is sad. But I like the shock when they realize I'm not a man.
Really? That's so. They're like, Mom. All right, y'all set? You're just waiting on us.
Oh,
All right, so here's the
he's like-
easiest part. Say and spell your name. I already know it, but you just have it on tape.
Lee Comer, L-E-E-C-O-M-E-R.
Is there any way we can get them to not do that?
Yeah. Hey, Aubrey. Row. Do you hear us with your headphones on?
I'm sorry.
Are you tied into this? Oh, okay. Oh, God. That's funny.
Okay, so you already had the Iron Hen, really successful restaurant, amazing food. What made you decide to go ahead and hey, let's just open up a multiplex with 3 different places in it, great new concept, nobody's seen this before. Where did this come from?
It came from necessity from our catering business. We had outgrown Iron Hen, and I think the opportunity was here in Greensboro for growth. Greensboro's downtown is sprawling and it's growing, and UNCG is sprawling, and so I love the location for that reason, because we kind of intersect UNCG and downtown, and it gave me a large catering kitchen, which is what we started this for, but then I had to figure out how do we own and operate this entire facility and make it work. And the only way to do that is to occupy every square foot and have it somehow producing some sort of income. And the thing that I like and that motivates me and that drives the catering business is the restaurants. So we decided to put multiple restaurant concepts here.
So tell us about it. You have, what, 30,000 square feet? And tell us about the building. It's from the 1930s. I mean, there's just so much history here, and then adding in all these new flavors to it. Tell us about that.
This building has had a lot of lives. There's multiple add-ons to it. So it started in the 30s and then the 50s, and then there was an add-on in the 70s. It used to be one of the largest catering companies in town. Back in the day, in the late 80s, early 90s, it was catering by Ellen. And actually, I think I have those dates wrong.
That's okay, don't worry about it.
Okay.
So it started out in the 30s. Wasn't it an ice company at some point?
It was an ice house, it was a coal house, it was a gas station, it was a horse stable. Most recently, for the past 20 years when I bought it, that previous owner kept it for his vehicles. So it was a garage for him to restore antique vehicles, and it had the kitchen in the back because it had been home to one of the largest catering companies in North Carolina for about 10 years. That's why we looked at it, and we were initially excited. And I loved the industrial feel of it. I loved the location. Found itself in the stretch between UNCG and downtown, and I kind of felt like with the sprawl of both of those, they would connect at some point, and we may as well be the pioneers to activate the neighborhood.
Most definitely. So how did you come up with the concept or the idea? I could say concept. I'm stuck on a word today. Of having 3 distinct businesses in here. I mean, but yet they all share the same kitchen. I know sustainability has to do with it, but how did you, those are two different questions. One, how did you come up with just the 3 different businesses that you were going to have in here?
So there's actually 8 different businesses in here.
Yeah.
So we came up with it basically of how do you figure out how to occupy every square inch and to produce income from every square inch. Because in the restaurant hospitality business, you're making money by the penny and by the minute. So what we did was, this is kind of 4 Flocks where we're sitting right now, has always been sort of my dream restaurant. I love everything about it. Can I go into the concept of it?
Oh, please.
So should I start over where there's 8 concepts?
So tell us about just tell us about the 4 Flocks.
So 4 Flocks is an outlaw concept. It's focusing on things that are, all of my concepts are everything that's nostalgic to me and me growing up and fond memories of childhood. And so this one is about the outlaw movement. So we always play Hank, Waylon, and Willie, and things that are familiar to the sounds that were in my grandmother's kitchen when she was cooking. Some of the things that are on this menu, like chicken and dumplings. We focus on those 4 Flocks, which is the chicken, duck, turkey, and quail. They're cooked on a wood fire grill. Everything from that outlaw movement or that time in history, people use things that were sustainable, which is a big part of our company culture. Sustainability is everything to me. Legacy is everything to me, not just for me and the company and my family, but also for the city of Greensboro. I want to leave my mark on Greensboro, and I want to create a business that was sustainable. So like the outlaws used to do, they would buy really things that were fine. They would spend their money on things that were to be passed down from generation to generation. So when I started this, I looked at heart pine tables, getting them custom made, the best marble you could buy. All of our dishes are made in Seagrove. They're hand thrown by a potter there. So we put that order in about 8 months before we opened, and every single one of them is signed. And so when you're eating on them, I wanted people to feel like everything was fine, not just what was on the plate, but the plate itself. The chair you're sitting in, that was custom made to the table. And then to have that smell of a wood-fired grill, because so many people cooked that way back in the day, and there was just an appreciation for that, and knowing that what you're eating on, what you're sitting in, what you're eating on, could be passed down for generations to come. I loved that. So, we have really nice flatware. You pick it up and it's heavy, and I'm hoping to bring back that idea for folks that are at least my age and older, that they get that sense of legacy and nostalgia.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. When was that? When you talk about the outlaw period, when was that time period? Is there a certain...
I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s,
Okay.
when Hank, Waylon, Willie, Johnny Cash, they were doing their thing, and that is the kind of music that was playing on vinyl when I was growing up. And so my grandmother would turn it on every Sunday, and George Jones, that was her favorite, played at her funeral, and it plays every day in here. And it just makes me think of when times were easy and happy, and it was because you were, when you think about eating and sharing something with somebody, it's usually over a meal, you're celebrating something, you're mourning something, you're nourishing somebody, you know what I mean? So I really liked and I really over-romanticized that idea of feeding someone.
That's beautiful. It just makes this place just come alive when you talk about it like that. That's great. So then you said there's 8 businesses. So obviously we have the Revolution next door. What was sort of the idea behind that?
So Revolution Burger is what I believe another part of our culture is not just sustainability, but fresh, local, good. That's the name of our company, Fresh, Local, Good Food Group. Revolution Burger to me is the next step in where we're going with beef production. I think in our lifetime, feedlots may be over. I think that folks are going to focus on grass-fed and finished, not just grass feeding, but extending the entire life of the steer through finishing them on grass. And so that's where that concept was born. We think it's better. We know it's better for you, and we think that we have folks in our community that it's important to them. And so the slogan is "Viva la Farmer." We focus on fresh produce, but the revolution is the grass-fed and finished beef because that's where we're headed.
And then next door we
have a scratch bakery called the Baker and the Bean. Everything from scratch, from brownies, pies, cakes, ice cream. We have an amazing executive baker in there, and she comes up with new ideas every day. There's not really a menu, it's just whatever she feels like making. But we have a great selection. For anybody that's got a sweet tooth, you can just come in and know it's sustainable, it's from scratch, and there's no preservatives, and it's as good as it can get if you're going to get into sugar.
And then hidden inside, are we allowed to tell?
Yeah.
Is Hush.
Yeah. So that came out of what was going to be a closet, and so it was just going to be some hidden space. We had an extra 500 or 600 square feet, and decided, hey, let's just try to do something fun with this. And so we came up with, let's do a speakeasy, because there was being on the interior of the building, there was no light, no windows. So we just made this cozy little nest in there, and decided we'd focus on craft cocktails, specialty coffees. And then if it didn't work, with the idea of sustainability in mind, we could always open that up to be some overflow from the bakery. And as far as the other concepts, we just had to figure out how to fill the building up. We have 2 catering companies in here. We have a rental event company because we focus on catering. That was the whole reason for buying this building. So we do everything from popcorn machines, cotton candy machines, bounce houses, anything that was required or needed for a party, china, silver, glassware. And then we have our event facility called The Public. And the idea of that is that all of my concepts are all nostalgic, and they're all supposed to be very welcoming for anybody. So The Public is kind of open to all y'all. No matter what you're wearing, what your event, we're going to have a space for you to gather.
That's great. And so what has the response been from people? I mean, I can imagine when they walk in here, they're just, wow. I mean, that's what we did, because you see the outside and you have a certain impression, and it's pretty. It's already pretty, and you can tell it's going to be a nice place, but then you walk in and both of us went, whoa, it's just gorgeous.
I think for 4 Flocks, a lot of folks don't realize they're in Greensboro anymore. We keep hearing that they think they're in New York, and so that makes me think I did something a little bit wrong, because I want them to feel like they're at home, and that it's Southern and things like that. But they're impressed by the way it looks, obviously, and we wanted it to feel kind of like you get an escape. And Iron Hen is a hometown favorite, so when folks come in, they've got to eat there, or they bring their guests there, or kids come home from college, they've got to eat there. And we're hoping to do the same thing here, but so far people seem to be receptive to it. They love the aesthetics of all the spaces.
And why, obviously you did it just as a smart idea to share the kitchen, but you did it also for sustainability. So what was sort of the idea behind that? I keep using the word idea. You think I'd be able to come up with something better?
Oh, it is an idea. The idea behind the sustainability in the shared kitchen is that we live in a new economy, and I recognized that about 5 years ago. Of just how do you figure out how to pay for everything, and if you're trying to grow your company or expand your company, how do you do that? Because at some point you need a marketing person, you need an admin person, you need a financial person. The only way to do that is to grow it and to have more butts and seats. I had a 35-seater, so in order to do that, I needed more restaurants. And so when I did that, we were able to bring on, an executive chef, an admin person, a marketing person, and just add to our just depth of resources. And then from that idea, it's like, why don't we do that in other areas where restaurants are notoriously known from struggling with how do you keep a dishwasher busy all day? Well, let's let that dishwasher work for multiple concepts, and then we're not having to say, go clean this, but they can focus on the dishes and the things that they're doing. And then it's the same thing with your high-end equipment that you're buying, whether it's a hood or a walk-in or a grease trap. If you can share that, then you're sharing some overhead cost, because it's getting split between 8 concepts instead of 1.
So smart. Wow. So what would you say is your real passion, or do you feel like it's being an entrepreneur, it's being I don't know what your background is as a chef. I mean, tell us where your passion comes from.
So my passion is, I would say I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started my first business at 22. It was a finishing construction business. I had it for about 15 years. I had always worked in restaurants from 15 up, waiting tables, always on the side. I loved the service side of it. I've done everything from fast food to fine dining. And I love nurturing people, taking care of folks. But sustainability really is everything that my life is about. And I love the idea of legacy. I was raised by my grandparents and had a lot of things that just were passed down, or older things that they had put their hands on. And I think about my nieces and nephews coming up. I want them to have something that I've put my hands on. And I want the city to have something that's been well used by the city. I want to leave it for the city to use.
Where did you grow up?
In Ashboro.
Okay, so just down the road.
Down the road.
Just down the road.
Went to school in Chapel Hill.
Okay, so you're just local.
Yeah, I'm a local girl.
You're as local as they come.
Yeah.
What's your next vision? Do you have another vision for this, or you're just? I mean, I can't imagine that you don't, right?
My next vision is we're going to stabilize here. We're going to get our feet firmly on the ground and make sure that we become a hometown favorite here as well as Iron Hen, and then from there we'd like to expand our concepts. I do believe Revolution Burger is franchisable, and I do believe it is part of where the food movement is going. I feel called to lead part of that food revolution, and so we'd like to expand there.
What I forgot to ask you, you were talking earlier. What are I know we talked to Daryl, but what are some of the more unusual things that people are going to find here at Fort Flux? I know I'm kind of backing up, but that they wouldn't find in other restaurants, or just the taste of it.
Daryl has an interesting take on the Southern cuisine, and I love it so much because he was given a list of like, hey, I need you to make this nostalgic, traditional Southern, simple ingredients, put the focus on the food and the flavors of those foods as they are naturally, and he came up with some really great sauteed pig's feet. He's got chicken livers. He's got his spin on it, of course, so you get a little bit of New York, but you definitely recognize those flavors that you grew up with. He's got a pork and beans that are coming out. We, of course, do fried chicken, buttermilk batter, put in a iron skillet, and I kind of got sideways on that.
Oh no, that was fine. You got all that.
You can take some of it.
Yeah, you got all that. You're so good. Why do you not like doing this? You're so good at it.
I think restaurants should be about the chef.
Yeah. But they always want it to be about their team and the food. So eventually somebody's going to go and care. The chefs are the same way. You know, it's all about if you're a good leader, it's always about your team, and that's how you are, and that's how he is. But so tell us about. Let me think. You covered it all so really well. Where'd you get this picture from?
So that is everything that we try to focus on here is being local, fresh, local, and good. We go back to that. So that's Lake Townsend. It's just north of Greensboro, and so that's kind of a swamp scene where you could hunt some of these birds that we serve in here. And I kind of joke with people. Every one of those birds, the turkey, the duck, and the quail, you could hunt there. And somebody in North Carolina has probably hunted a chicken, but I don't know. We just have fun with it. But it is from up north of Greensboro.
And how'd you come up with the name?
Fort Flux.
Yeah.
It's named after my nieces and nephews.
Oh, you told me that. Yeah. I'm sorry. You told me that. But the larder part.
So everything, all of my concepts, even Iron Hen, start with a name first, and then I develop the concept around it. And so I knew I wanted to do something, because this is a big part of my legacy for not just my nieces and nephews, but for Greensboro. So I knew their name. They are going to create my flocks one day, and so I thought, let me say 4. I love working with numbers too. I think it's kind of fun. And so then I had to come up with the birds, obviously. But larders are something that are popping up all across the country. And something that's important to me is not to just extend what we already have here in Greensboro, to bring something a little bit new. I wanted to stretch the idea of what a restaurant is, of what could be in a restaurant. But it's, Cracker Barrel did this way back when. It's the whole shop while you eat or while you wait, or exit the gift shop on your way out of the ride. So in order to get to the patio, you have to walk through the gift shop. We have a stretch on the word larder. I'm using it very liberally. They taught me that at Chapel Hill. We're liberal folks.
We're liberal folks.
Yeah.
As long as we can. We'll hold on
exactly.
to it.
Exactly.
Don't get that on tape. I don't have anything else. You were so good. What else should I have asked you? Did I forget stuff?
No, I think that's it. We covered the concepts.
All age, size, what's your inspiration? You're just good. You got it out so fast. Did I forget anything, Bob? I mean, she's good. I know, but we all want to know that. How do you do all this? Everyone keeps calling you Wonder Woman.
Who? Hilarious. You know, I love creating, and it's funny because I don't see myself as like a creative type, but I know I am at this point because I'm really more analytical. I love the business side. I think business is the greatest game ever created. It's 24 hours a day, all ages. There's no fouls. You can do whatever. You can take a nap. You can get back in the game, and you know, you can. It's just fun to me. So I like that part of it, and I don't know. I'm tired now. I would say that's why I want to stabilize. I'm tired.
You could rule the world. I can see. You need to run for office.
I don't know about that. I'm heavily medicated right now, just so you know. Yeah, that's what happens. This is hard. Everybody in the restaurant business is crazy.
Oh no, I know. We know. We've been around it long enough.
I mean, it's a damn grind.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
You can't without a team, and if you don't get bigger, you can't do it.
No, you can't.
Or you're here. I mean, you're here. I'm here all the time anyway. But if you don't have a large team, you're here. You are in the trenches.
All day.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. You're really good at this.
Thanks. Tell me something I can ask you that you can talk about. There, us. Special tonight, or?
Roasted honey brine chicken, the poulet rouge from Ashley Farms, with butternut, acorn squash, pumpkin seeds, and baby kale.
Have we
The
talked
red
to
is
the
the red cabbage sauce.
We talked to the staff about this yet?
We're just doing it right now.
Yeah. How many do we have on the books tonight?
We have
Cool, looks good.
we have the rockfish, ordinary sauce,
Okay. Thanks, sweet.
big fish, scallops,
All right, cool.
clean figs for Laurie,
What are we making?
for the big noodles.
Okay.
We're just helping out for the bakery while they're helping us out. We're helping them out.
Okay, I got it. Okay, I don't like the camera that. Okay, so
Tell us about this kitchen. It's got a really unique concept to it. Kind of walk us through it.
yeah, so we're coming through the shared kitchen right now. This is Revolution Burger, this part right here, and you've just crossed the line into 4 blocks now. So this is a kitchen that's highlighted by the wood fire grill.
And I just messed that up. I'm sorry. So we've got 2 different kitchens. I mean, we have one kitchen, but it's serving 2 different purposes.
That's right. So now we're in Revolution Burger Kitchen, and this is a fast casual concept, so everything goes out of the service window right here. You're about to cross the line into 4 flocks. 4 flocks is centered around a wood fire grill that's coming up on the right here. And then this is an open concept kitchen, so all the guests can see what's happening back here with all the chefs. And walk this way.
And come into the Revolution. Go in, wait 5 seconds, walk out, and then walk in here.
To Revolution Burger. All right. Hey. Oh, cool. Zappos. I tried to order the green ones, but all they had was blue. Be back.
No, you can't do the cheesy grin. Ignore us.
He just came out.
Well-
Did you see that? Well,
Okay.
All right. So tell us about this.
so we have a lot of folks after dinner or after dessert that want to have another cocktail before they head home. So
Do it again.
So after dinner or after dessert, a lot of folks like to have a cocktail before heading home, and we invite them to come see our speakeasy called Hush. So you enter your code that's given out weekly, and come on in.
Okay. So after people have dinner and things like that, they might want to get a drink. Where are they going to go?
They're going to come to our speakeasy called Hush. They enter the code, and come on in. don't get used to this. What are you drinking?
I'm getting clubbed.
Yeah, she's 19. I hope she's told you that.
It's water.
It's water.
Okay. Yeah.
They brought me on because they really needed someone to
Wouldn't that be cool? I love this space.
Yeah, but it's important.
This is where I have all my meetings. It's like during the day. You can turn the music down and just meet people in here and it's quiet. I like it. Okay.
Well, I didn't.
But we're very like her, and we'll see, and I'll just come in and say
Lee, thank you so much.
no, thank y'all, but I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, yeah.
Like retired really well. And they like totally mentor, folks that want to do that. So kind of got into their back pocket, and they were able to teach me a lot. That kind of opened some doors up for me, and changed my mindset and all that stuff. And that way, like, kind of hard too. So yeah. 100%. You think you're gonna stay with the? What's the name of the company again?
So I work for County Ford directly, but in partnership with Denny's Garage.
Okay, gotcha. Is that like long term for you?
Yeah, I think so. Doesn't work out well.
There's always like so much to learn. It's like always something new that's coming out because like it evolves and upgrades and stuff.
I just started one for the products I work with.
Okay.
Getting a little traction right now.
Yeah.
Slow start.
Gotcha. Do you like cash out? Right.
And I did have one of our partners repost something, which was very beneficial the other day.
Yeah, getting it shared throughout like
You guys
other
ready?
communities.
All right. Well, I didn't know if you were ready or not. I was waiting on you.
I was just like instead of integrated, and I'm sure you have like Google search like what is best for like car industry or this industry, and like focus on smaller communities. Like if you have like cars or just have like coffee, it's not like that effective. If you find like a group of people that are into it, then find theirs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's a new way to be creative, but it does like help the business a lot.
There you go.
Do me a favor,
Yes, sir.
just put it back down where it was and put it, see where it is right now, where you placed it?
I did.
Place it right there again and go.
You're a pro. You don't know how many. No, seriously, you don't know how many.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Make us look. Don't forget your t-shirt. And don't wear it to bed.
Thank you. Ready?
How do the windows and raise? But even on the kid that's on the golf cart right now, that needs a picture of our video.
I got pearls on.
You're gonna just look at me, okay, and say and spell your name for me so I have it on camera.
Okay, first name is Mebane, like the town, M-E-B-A-N-E, and the last name is Ham, H-A-M, like in a pig. Nothing else you can do with it.
It's
People
about as
try to
easy
be
as
nice.
get, yeah. So, Mebane, how long have you been coming here to Four Flocks?
When did it open now? How
Like
many
a
years
year.
ago? It's been over a year, hasn't it? They had a great first, like a soft opening when you came, you tasted everything, and fell in love with this place. And loved coming back here. It's got a great bar. They got really nice bourbons, and they make a really nice drink. And everything I've had here, I've thoroughly enjoyed.
What about the atmosphere? I mean, it's really, you know, Lee works so hard to make it local, but it also you feel like you kind of stepped into a whole new city.
Well, it's what she's done is she's taken local stuff and stepped it up a bit. And that's what's so cool about coming here. I might recognize some things, but the way it's presented, the way it's talked about, it's a whole different way, and that's what makes it nice.
And what do you think about this whole concept of this multiplex having 3 different...
I'm still getting used to it, but it's kind of, I never thought I'd get used to it, but you know, it's kind of nice. You kind of go from here, you can go down to the speakeasy and have a drink and usually run with some friends, and then go get some nice little dessert. I usually take that home with me. And so it's, I didn't know how it was going to work, and evidently someone did their homework because it works.
So, you haven't had the fried chicken yet, but...
No, it's coming eventually. Eventually we're going to have chicken somewhere.
Let me do this just so it doesn't hit the microphone.
Oh, okay. It's going to fall down. It's going to get chopped off on Tuesday. I want to go.
No,
Well, it's got to go Snopes about that much, just because it's easier to get rid of the wig for Mrs.
Oh,
Claus.
yeah, that's coming up. So what do you think about having an entrepreneur? You've known Lee for a long time, but having this
Newer at our end.
yeah, I mean, you've been a long time fan of the Iron Hen, and
Yeah.
now you've got a new place to come. Tell us about that.
Well, Iron Hen is really kind of in my neighborhood. I live in the historic district here in Green, one of the many historic districts in Greensman. And I can walk down to the Iron Hen. It's a blast. You, again, have a nice drink, have a nice meal, and go back home. It's a little bit of a drive for me. Oh my goodness. Oh God. Oh, thank you very much. I know, Lee, you might as well just leave.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Rob, can you smell that? No. Oh. Okay, make sure y'all get a picture of that.
All right, I'll only ask you one more question, and then you have to have a bite.
Oh, okay.
So,
Anyway, yes, ma'am.
but you're used to going to the Iron Hen,
Yeah.
and now you come down here. tell us, is it feel like the Iron Hen? Is it something totally different? Is it just a...
It's, again, it's got the best of what makes Iron Hen good and takes it a step up. You know, I love being able to come in and people go, "Hi, Evan, how you doing?" That matters to me, to do. For people to say, they know, they usually post, you know, what kind of drink you're having, and they know that. That matters to me. That's one reason why I like coming down.
And the food's not bad.
Oh, wait, the food's not half bad, no. I wonder if I get to take a bite of this. It smells delicious.
Go for it, girl. Do you want a shot?
Wait, because that's...
No.
Doesn't it just... Can I take this home with me?
Let me see what it says. Oh, I'm in your light. I'm sorry.
Now, who else are y'all getting here in Greensboro? What other groups are you talking to?
Just this.
Just this? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, when they started it, I was like, really, guys? And now I'm like, okay, I get it. It works. Usual punishment. I'm not even drinking the wine yet. Now I can have a bite of this? God, no, it's embarrassing, but I have to start with this first. Oh, God. Not good. Oh. I'm not about to pick that up and eat it. I can't. No, there's not. I'm sorry. But you know, guys, it's real fried chicken. You know, it's not anything you're going to get at something we won't make in other places. God, this is wonderful. There's no delicate way of doing this. Glad I got fingernails done at least. Like, can we be done with this now?
No.
Oh,
Green beans.
that's collard greens.
Collard, excuse me. Good. Good. Mashed taters.
I think there's grits. No, it's mashed potatoes, yep. Oh, God.
And then I want you to pull off some chicken, not with the fork. You did it with your fingers, I think, the first time.
Oh, like this?
I think, did you have the fork? I don't think you had the fork.
No.
Yeah, do it
You
again.
really are going to make me look good.
Yeah.
I can take the hair clip off my hand if you'd like me to. Ow, it's hot.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Not a delicate way of doing this.
So what do you think?
Yeah, the fried chicken's fantastic. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. But you know, this is true Southern culture. Eating fried chicken with your fingers in a glass of wine. Please.
You were worried about that.
We got it. Thank you.
It's going to air on the 23rd and the 24th. Out on his birthday.
Of course.
Of course.
They took me out on my little birthdays when I couldn't afford to do anything and I was little. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. All right. So, if you don't mind just saying and spelling your name for me.
Neeton.
Okay.
Neeton Moore.
Neeton Moore, and then does Moore have M-O-O-R-E?
Yes.
Okay. I always ask because you never know.
I need to move this?
Yes, if you don't mind. Thank you. Bye. And so, how many times have you been here to Four Flocks?
This is about my 4th time here.
And what keeps you coming back?
The food is great, and I love the ambiance as well. So.
Well, tell us about it. What do you like about the restaurant?
Well, the scenery is pretty quiet for the most part. It's easy to get in. You don't have to worry about seating or making too many reservations. You just come in and sit down. It's pretty easy.
And what do you think about the fact that this is sort of a new space here in downtown? You know, it's a different area that they're trying to grow.
Well, I like it. I think the fact that Greensboro is evolving and they got a place like this where people can come and eat and it's something different. And I guess this is more so around like Southern chicken I like it.
But you still manage to eat healthy when you come.
I do.
What do you do? What do you do?
I like the fact that they serve everything in kind of small portions. So I typically get like a salad or some shrimp or something, some seafood to go along with it, some water or something.
So even people that are thinking, okay, it's heavy food, it's all this fried chicken, you can still come and get something that's...
Yeah, it's all about portion size. So, and the portion size they provide is pretty good. So.
They try and have, go ahead. We don't want his food to get cold. Ooh, what'd you get?
This is the sweet potato casserole.
I think my mic just fell off.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it just fell. It didn't fall off.
Okay, just stick it on your lap.
Yeah, I'm putting it in this chair.
That's fine. Pull that up and tell me what you got.
This is sweet potato casserole, which one's going to Pops here. But it's like a sweet potato casserole. I think on the menu it's sweet potatoes with pecans and marshmallows, which is basically sweet potato casserole.
You want to have a bite of it, or are you going to wait?
No, go ahead.
No, have a bite.
No, I'll wait.
All right, so the concept of having this 3 different businesses, what do you think about that? Because what they did is they're sharing one kitchen. Right. So it's more sustainable, it helps the business. What do you think about that?
Economically sound. That way everybody can use the same kitchen. So I haven't frequented the other 2 spots yet, but I hear that they're pretty good as well. So.
You're awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this. He's just going to get a little bit of video. You guys just pretend like he's not here. Okay. And just go ahead and eat. Exactly. What you came to do. And I'll come get that off you in just a second. Happy birthday, sir.
Hopefully I didn't break it.
Oh, no, you didn't break it. Thank you so much. You're very kind to me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Game tonight, USC is on.
Little game?
Yeah, it's 7:30.
Yeah. So is the other, the Penn State, Michigan game. I think it's around the same time.
I think another game is on Prince tonight is East Carolina and BYU.
Where is that played? In Greenville?
I don't know what Greenville home game tonight, but it's pretty.
Are their records pretty? Both teams are pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Carolina might be the only bad team in North Carolina this year.
Yeah, they're at the very bottom. 1-6 overall.
It's about 1-7.
Yeah, 1-7. I'm glad they got cleared on the allegation.
That's why I was kind of late coming to get you, because I was talking to Theo's dad. He was at the tailgate.
Theo's dad?
But he said he wanted to come to a game this year.
I know that Duke number preseason number 1, Carolina number 9.
Well, you know what they did, right?
What?
There was a kid, or there is a kid, in May. He was in 11th grade. Now he's at Duke. Apparently, the school he went to, his grades were so good that he was able to get qualified to go to Duke. His dad went to A&T. Bagley.
Is that the same one that Tinder had a picture and stuff on? Everything on?
The Cardinal?
Yeah, Cardinal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's going to be probably a number 1 pick. He's probably going to be a top 5 pick. Easily.
You think it's one and done?
I promise. See you, buddy. Take care.
Have a good night.
Fried chicken. Reggae. Fried chicken reggae.
Hey Tracy, you alright?
Red pot, cheddar biscuit.
Red pot, cheddar biscuit. I got you right here.
37.
When I talked to his parents, they were raised. I forgot we were drinking. American with pink white cheddar. I'll make one right now.
I think I do need another one, yeah.
Number Rivers, fried chicken. Fried chicken? Right now?
No, it's Gouda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
American and white cheddar.
Can you just hold up for a sec?
Create a burger, smoked Gouda, fried egg, bacon. Burger box. Good stuff. Where you at, Jeremy? Not bad. Next, I got no pink white cheddar.
Alright. Alright.
No pink American.
Alright.
Black pink white cheddar.
Alright.
Yeah,
I got you right now. Black bean gonna take a little bit. Here you go.
I got buns coming?
Yeah.
You got your white cheddar.
That's just Swiss.
You're good, Steph.
Okay, you just look at me and say and spell your name for me just so I have it on camera.
It's Sue Meekham. It's M-E-C-H-A-M.
Okay, and so what brought you here to the restaurant, to the Revolution?
So we came here, we were in town for a soccer game at Greensboro College, and we're looking for a place to eat dinner and drove by this and thought it looked interesting. And so we came in, had a burger and some fries and thought it was really good.
Great. Did you know that these are 3 different restaurants that are all connected? They have the same kitchen in the back?
No, I didn't. Actually, we were just looking at the paperwork on the table and saw that, they were somehow connected. So we weren't quite clear on that, but yeah, somehow we ended up at the burger restaurant. I don't know what else is out there.
Well, it's one woman who came up with this whole idea, and she's an entrepreneur, and she's done it all by herself, which is absolutely amazing. So
nice.
It's a neat concept. Did you think that it's 100% grass-fed beef? Did it taste better to you or different?
Oh, it tasted really good. Yeah, we were comparing it to other restaurants that we've had, and yeah, we thought it was very good. And sweet potato fries were really good too. And one thing we really liked was the decor. The ceilings are so high. It's really cool. I think it's in an old factory or something. It's really neat.
You're awesome. That's all I needed.
Okay.
Sue, thank you so much.
What? You've been around lately? Can I go?
Lee Comer and I first met when she opened that wonderful restaurant downtown called the Iron Hen. We had been at a meeting and I did not know her. It was a meeting of women entrepreneurs and women business owners in our city. And at that meeting, I had made a little presentation. And in the presentation, I said at the end, strong women make a difference. Powerful women make change. I went to see her at the restaurant the next day, and on the blackboard above her desk was that quote.
I think Greensboro is really ready for the first multiplex, this 509 project. It's going to be a destination for people. It'll be a wonderful spot for families to come. There's a bakery, ice cream, speakeasy. You're going to have 2 full restaurants, a catering opportunity, linen rental. It really will be a destination for people to come. So I think Greensboro is definitely, should we say, that it's hungry for a place like this.
This project, bringing 8 businesses to downtown Greensboro, the economic impact, what that brings is tremendous. The excitement, the vibrancy, the jobs, the quality of life that this project brings really solidifies downtown Greensboro as the place to be.
At the end of a very long day, the true entrepreneur watches the customer leave and the lights slowly go down and the door lock. But that entrepreneur is always dreaming. She is always looking forward to the next vision. We all hope that it's in Greensboro, North Carolina.